I'd like to begin by expressing on behalf of the Afghan people and government appreciation to all those who took part in the open debate on the situation in my country, Afghanistan. Today's debate magnified a deep concern on the part of the international community in general and the Security Council in particular to the prevailing problems in our country. The debate also exemplified a genuine desire to search for ways and means of achieving an end to the nonsense conflict in Afghanistan. This desire is echoed with a deep enthusiasm on the part of the Afghan people to see an end to the fighting. Our people indeed have suffered enormously and wishing to cherish the fruits of peace. However, looking deeply at the root causes of the conflict may bring one to the conclusion if sometimes you're actually facing no other alternative but to fight for peace. Of course, putting an end to the foreign interference would leave no reasons for the continuation of the conflict. It is through the discontinuation of interference that the sides involved in the conflict would be one step closer to reaching an accord that would once again enable them to stand side by side and jointly strive for rebuilding their war-ravaged country. It brings me to remembering a consensus, Mr. President, that seems to be existing on the discontinuation of foreign interference exemplified in the course of today's open debate, which is a matter of satisfaction to my delegation. Ideas were also floated on ways and means that an international effort would pursue for putting an end to the conflict, some which may deserve consideration, while some need to be further clarified so that the people of Afghanistan would be rest assured that in any international initiative for their good, consideration of the will of the Afghan people is paramount. It should be underscored that only a process in which the people will be involved would guarantee a lasting, durable, and comprehensive peaceful political solution. Let me state for the sake of the record that the Afghan government is ready to listen and discuss any practical proposal which may be forwarded by the special mission. Ambassador Misteri, in view of the valuable experiences gained during the last 2 years, deserves to be supported in his endeavors for achieving the mandate entrusted to him by the General Assembly. The mission's headquarters was recently moved inside Afghanistan in the eastern city of Jalalabad. This is a positive step. However, the office is moving to Kabul capital, would contribute to the improvement of the situation in the capital through discouraging the random rocketing attack on the capital. For the sake of further information of the Council, there are many embassies open in Kabul and ambassadors of friendly countries heading their diplomatic missions. Mr. President, we heard the appeals of the distinguished speakers made on behalf of their government and to the conflicting sides. We assure you all that the appeal will reach to the parties. However, as far as the government is concerned, we are only trying to defend the innocent Kabul inhabitants and of the state sovereignty to be transferred to a legitimate and credible national-oriented body to be capable of improving the situation. A mechanism to be created, as rightly stated by the distinguished representative of Japan, as a result of a genuine inter-Afghan dialogue which would represent the aspirations of the Afghan nation, including the wider side. I'm deeply gratified, Mr. President, to the distinguished speakers who expressed utmost sympathy to and solidarity with the Afghan people and their hour of trial. I would just hope that our common efforts will soon generate a genuine Afghan political will in an environment clean of foreign meddling, so all sides leave on and to enter into the second stage of their struggle, which is the struggle for Afghanistan's reconstruction. Mr. President, with your permission, I would like to very briefly refer to a statement made by the distinguished Ambassador of Pakistan. Mr. President, as we have explained during the course of General Assembly debate, and also in the course of today's debate, our disapproval of the Pakistani attitude is echoed with a wide range of frustration within Pakistan against an unhealthy policy pursued by some quarters, especially the Pakistani military intelligence towards Afghanistan. These objections have well been expressed by Pakistani high-ranking officials, members of parliament, senators, politicians, writers, etc., who truly understand the value of Afghanistan's friendship. His Excellency Ambassador of Pakistan wished to hear the true voice of the Afghan before the Council. It only represents, Mr. President, an unwillingness on the part of the Pakistani government to establish friendly relations with Afghanistan and to serve as a positive element for the restoration of peace and stability to their neighboring country, Afghanistan. After all, what we heard today did not seem to be in harmony with what we heard as recent as this morning from Islamabad. Perhaps it only justifies our finding that Pakistani government is lacking a state policy with regard to Afghanistan, and that there are many sides in the Pakistani administration who are having different voices according to their group interests and likings. His Excellency Ambassador of Pakistan said Pakistan is not interfering in the current conflict in Afghanistan. Due to the magnitude of Pakistani influence on a number of Afghan factions, especially of Taliban, we believe Pakistan interference, if it is on the side of peace and facilitation of national reconciliation, would be welcomed by Afghanistan. Once again, references were made to who is controlling what part of the country. As a victim of foreign interference, I would not try to explain the situation inside Pakistan, particularly in Karachi. 7 independent agencies in northern Pakistan, and Malakand, etc., fearing it would be construed as interference in the internal affairs of Pakistan. As far as references to legitimacy made by distinguished Ambassador of Pakistan, it is only justified if Pakistani delegation represents the views of the Afghan opposition. We could continue to do so, but not from the rostrum of the United Nations. With these brief remarks, I once again thank you, Mr. President, and the distinguished members of the Council for their attention. I thank you, sir.